there is a realization of re-rating of the PSUs. Yeah. That's what we are seeing. In September alone, I think the Nifty PSU index was up over 10%, while the Nifty Private Bank Index was up only 3%. So the outperformance which we have seen in PSBs is basically giving a push or moving towards a re-rating of the of the PSU banks there. Now there are a couple of things which are happening. One, over the last 5 years, the value of PSU banks have gone up by nearly 5 times, which is incredible. The way of way the entire banking has been cleaned for NPAs and other bad assets. So the NPAs are almost at low. The credit quality is much better or at comparable to the private sector. The return on assets have increased to nearly 1%. Now they are still at a discount to the private bank, because private banks have a return on assets of 1.7 to 1.8. So you're still getting them at a cheap valuation, but the credit quality is much better, the credit growth is much better, and they're much and they have been able to raise money from the market. If you look at the last 3-4 months, we've seen a lot of banks coming, including SBI, coming and raising funds from the market. So sitting on a lot of dry powder to go out and give credit out. So they are at a much better position as compared to private banks as we speak. Because we have seen IndusInd having trouble. We had Kotak, which has come back after some troubles there, and ICICI Bank is the only one. HDFC Bank has kept itself muted because they have a big issue with respect to how much lending they can do. So within the private bank, you have only ICICI Bank which is standing out, and maybe Kotak to some extent. But in the PSU bank, you have the SBIs and of the world which are standing out, and that's something there. And yesterday, like we were talking, Prakash was mentioning that in the Manthan which happened in Delhi, the government is looking to increase the FPI cap from 20 to 26%. Now, one can argue that there is already a buffer there, but the problem, or the good thing is that a lot of index funds have already are capping there, capping at the 20% level because the weightages has been capped at 20% level. If the weightage goes from 20 to 26%, then the index funds will have to buy, and in that case you're going to see somewhere around $600-700 million of flows coming into banks, with SBI leading the pack, because SBI itself will see a flow of roughly around $450-460 million. So that's that re-rating of PSB is now in play here, and that's the reason why we are seeing the outperformance.